What's up? Today we're doing another video. We're doing 5 alt-rock production tips. Why don't we just dive right in and maybe you'll learn a thing or two along the way. Let's go. Tip number 1 is filling the space between the vocal lines. There's a little bit of space here where the vocal is not singing. And so in that space, we fill it with a melody. So here you go.
The wind is like rain. Where's my comb? I'm feeling like I'm on.
So let me play it for you with that instrumental muted and you can hear what I'm talking about. Here we go.
And the wind is like rain. Where's my comb?
It's just like dead space. Let me put it back in.
Where's my comb? I'm feeling.
I mean, like, it takes that section of the song from like, okay, skip, next song, to like, oh shoot, like, what is that? You know, give the vocalist a break sometimes. You know, music can be cool too. It doesn't have to be like chords and just like vocal, just like rambling on and on. Tip number 2, I think is my favorite to talk about, which is swells and transitions. There is a whole lot of reversing, as you can see here. Here's a vocal reverse, guitar reverses. You have a lot of sound effect reverses. Here's crash cymbal reverses, risers reverses. What these do is help with getting into the next section of the song. So here's like the intro going into the verse.
Boys are in play.
What we have for transitions here is just like a white noise reverse, which sounds like this. Here's like a little pad reverse. Okay, that's dope. And actually, those are the only 2 reverses going into the verse section. So I don't know. Let me take those out, and then you can hear, you know, the difference before and after.
Boys are in play.
And here's after. I think it just like gives it some energy that is lacking beforehand. Here we go.
Boys are in play.
It swells in and then it just like gets taken right back right into the verse. I don't know. It just like gives it a really nice impact. I can find you another spot. Yeah, so here's going into the bridge. So we have a reverse piano. I love doing reverse pianos. Reverse pad again. So check it out going to the bridge here. You can hear the risers. So I think reverses are really good for transitions. Of course, fills on the drums are really good for transitions, even guitar fills. Here's one drum fill that I really like. So those are some ideas just for like transitions and stuff. Tip number 3, punchy drums and side chaining. Okay, so like let me show you the drums when they come in at the top of the song. You can just kind of hear how they're just like pumping and just ripping through the song. Here we go. Okay, there's a couple things going on here. One is that, of course, we run all the drums into a drum bus. That has some compression going on, as you can see. So just like, you know, 4 dB of drum comp on the main track. Then we bus out the drum bus out to a second drum bus that's being absolutely obliterated by a couple of effects. Yeah, so it's heavy compression here, as you can see here. So just like getting absolutely massacred by this compressor here. Doing a fine job, my boy. And then after that, just a little bit of crunch on this Devil Lock is giving these drums some crazy grit. Let me solo just this bus for you so you can hear. Another cool thing about bussing out the drum bus to an obliterated parallel processing bus is that this drum bus also includes cymbals and stuff. So as you can hear the downbeat of when this groove comes in, there are crash cymbals like this. I'm going to solo these crash cymbals with the kick drum, and you can hear the kick drum makes these cymbals react really crazy. You can hear the cymbals getting like sucked into this vacuum by this kick drum, and I don't know, it just brings it like a ton of energy to the song. I'll play it for you again in context. just like having like cymbals pumping and like in like, you know, a rock pop kind of thing, and not having the cymbals be totally clean and pristine mixing wise is just like a huge game changer. Having the cymbals get a little gritty by the kick drum is huge. One last drum processing thing regarding sidechaining is that on my master bus, I do have some sidechain compression that the kick drum is triggering. So you can see it reacting here. Right, so you can see it doing like 1 dB of gain reduction. That's just affecting the whole song. It just gives it this like pumping kind of feel that just like adds energy without having to raise the volume even more. Tip number 4 is vocal production. In this genre, I don't like to get too crazy with like, you know, having like 20 stacks and just like, I don't know. I just have like 4 or 5 BGVs, background vocal tracks. I have a lead vocal. I have a delay throw track. I have a vocal reverse track. I have a vocal synth, and that's it. And I find that to be a really effective and CPU saving amount. You're not getting too crazy with it, but it gives you what you need. So starting off, where the real kind of production I'm talking about comes in is like harmonies and reverses and stuff. So why don't I show you this pre-chorus before and after background vocals.
Try lips and I'm all tucked tight. Real deal till it's try lips and I'm all tucked tight.
They're doing two things here. One thing they're doing is adding harmonic content, right? But I would argue the more important thing they're doing is they're actually giving more sibilance. They're like adding to the pronunciation of the lyric, especially since I'm hard panning them left and right. What you get when you add this lead vocal with these background vocals is you get them all singing the same lyric regardless of pitch. You get them singing once in the middle and then 2 times right on each side, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. And that gives just like, you can hear in the mix that's like, oh, like there's something going on in the sides. When you add in harmonies like that and just give them some good sibilance and like pronunciation on the sides, it really opens up the mix. Another really good vocal production tip you can do is delay throws. So if we go to the bridge here, I have this track called Delay Throw, and it's basically there to accentuate a lyric and have it linger and, like I was saying before, fill in space of the mix. So here's what the bridge sounds like. So after I sing Something Magical, there's like 3 beats of nothing really focus grabbing happening. So what I decided to do is I would take the word magical here and I would copy it down here. I would throw some delay on it, turn up the mix 100%, and I made the value a half note so that after, you know, it processes right when I'm singing magical, and then it actually sounds right a half note later. So I'll just solo the vocal and the delay throw and you can hear what I'm talking about.
Thin magical. It's like
So you can hear this guy tailing, right? And so that's another like cool way that kind of, you know, it helps fill in space, and it's a cool like vocal way to do it. Another cool vocal tip you can do is record your voice into a sampler and then play notes via MIDI like I have here. This one, I just recorded myself singing ooh in here and then like looped it into a sampler, added a bunch of reverb, compression and stuff. And you can play lines, like you can see I copy and pasted this line that this synthesizer is playing down to this vocal synth. So it sounds something like this. And I pair that with some real live vocals like this. In the mix, it sounds like this.
anymore. Going drunk down the interstate with nothing inside getting in my way. Yeah.
The 5th and final tip is don't just strum chords, create parts. And so what do I mean by that? There's a time and a place for a song where it's just like a strumming acoustic or it's just like block chords on the piano. Take a listen to this intro though. There's no like playing chords or anything. Like look at all this. Like there's no, it's like lines and stuff that I'm playing. So like I'll just solo all this stuff and you can hear like what I'm talking about. So if I solo all the keys and guitars, this is what it sounds like in this section. Take a look at this chorus here. Like, there's some chords like I showed you earlier happening, but it's really just like a bunch of lines happening. Here's the guitars in the chorus. You can hear a guitar doing a little palm muty thing right here. You'll notice it's the same two notes that I'm playing over and over again as just like the 1 and the 5 note. And actually, when you pair that with the bass moving the root note around, you get different chords, even though the guitar is just playing the same note. Yeah, I hope this like helped you get some ideas for production and stuff. This kind of stuff is really fun. In my free time, I like to write a lot of music like this. So maybe you'll be hearing some stuff, including this song, when I release all that stuff. So good luck producing, and yeah, I'll see you guys around.